The Pacific Ocean, the world's largest and deepest ocean basin, is a watery abyss of profound scale and mystery. If you were to venture off the coast of northern Chile and dig a hole straight through the earth, you would still find yourself in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean on the other side, specifically in the South China Sea. This ocean covers about 1/3 of Earth's entire surface and is larger than all the land on Earth combined. Despite such immensity, it harbors only a few scattered islands, making it a daunting and isolating environment, especially if one were to get lost there. An unfathomable ordeal. Given the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, it's a chilling thought how easily one could be lost and never found. Yet, the story of José Salvador Alvarenga defies these odds. Alvarenga holds the world record for the longest time spent being lost at sea, 438 days. His harrowing ordeal, which was an accidental journey of survival, is a testament to human resilience and sheer willpower. Setting sail. Alvarenga's journey began innocuously enough in 2012. An experienced fisherman, he embarked on what was intended to be a short 30-hour fishing trip from the tiny fishing village of Costa Azul on Mexico's Pacific coast. Accompanied by Ezequiel Cordoba, their boat was a modest 7-meter-long open vessel, more like a large canoe with no roof or cabin. Knowing a storm was looming, the two decided to head out 120 kilometers offshore, driven by the allure of a day's catch that could financially support them for an entire week. The storm that changed everything. At 1 a.m., the storm hit, and their situation quickly turned dire. Battling rough seas that threatened to capsize their boat, the two men cut their fishing lines and dumped their catch and most of their gear to lighten the load. Despite their efforts, their boat was propelling further away from the coast by the gale-force winds. Come 7 a.m., they were only 24 kilometers from shore with mountains visible on the horizon. But then their motor died. Without paddles, oars, or sails, the strong winds began drifting their boat back into the open ocean. Their onboard radio still functioned, allowing them to contact their boss, but once the battery went dead, their last contact with the outside world vanished with it. The frustration and despair of watching their only connection to help fade away must have been immense. Drifting further away. Despite a search party organized by their boss, rescue was not forthcoming. The relentless wind pushed them 450 kilometers offshore within just 5 days. Isolated in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, their survival depended on their ingenuity and willpower. Survival strategies and unthinkable choices. Left with no supplies, Alvarenga and Cordoba were forced into survival mode. Their sustenance depended on catching tiny fish and birds by hand. They scavenged floating plastic bottles to collect rainwater, but in dry periods, they consumed turtle blood or their own urine. The long days and months. Living in such cramped conditions, one tiny open boat, with little to do besides fishing and napping, the mental toll was significant. After 4 months, Cordoba, unable to cope, gave up hope. Consuming raw food made him sick, and he eventually starved himself to death. Alvarenga was now utterly alone, adrift in the vast Pacific Ocean with nothing but the haunting expanse as far as the eye could see. It is easy to imagine the crushing loneliness and determination he must have felt. Close encounters and further despair. Remarkably, Alvarenga claimed he encountered a cargo ship at one point. For men on board saw him and waved, only to continue sailing, ignoring his desperate plight. This fleeting brush with salvation only to be left stranded again must have been devastating. 11 months in. By the 11th month, Alvarenga had drifted an astonishing 8,000 kilometers. Reduced to wearing a shredded sweatshirt, he clung to life. Finally, hope appeared when he saw coconuts in the water and birds nearby, signaling land. After drifting for another half-day, he reached the shore, swimming to land for the first time in over a year. He stepped onto the Ebon Atoll of the Marshall Islands, one of the remotest places on the planet. From here, he made contact with the first humans he had seen since departing Mexico, closing his grueling 438-day journey. The distance traveled. To put his journey into perspective, Alvarenga's drifting distance was akin to traveling from Lisbon, Portugal, to Hiroshima, Japan. Had he missed this tiny atoll, his next likely stop would have been the Philippines, another 5,000 kilometers adrift, a dispiriting prospect considering his 438-day ordeal. Aftermath and reflection. Upon rescue, Alvarenga was flown back to El Salvador, where he later published a book on his experience. However, Even survival against such odds did not leave him unscathed from human conflict. He was sued by the family of Cordoba, who accused him of cannibalism. This accusation cast a shadow over what was otherwise a miraculous survival story. Lessons from Alvarenga's ordeal. Surviving a year at sea underscores the indomitable human spirit. Alvarenga's saga is a compelling reminder of our instinct to survive against incredible odds, even in the most hostile environments. The story also highlights the dynamics of hope, resourcefulness, and the psychological toll of extreme isolation.